We are live. He is John Matrix. I am Rhodes Rants. This is Black and White Sports. Good morning, John Matrix.
Good morning. It is Championship Sunday, man. I love Championship Sunday. Even though my team isn't playing in it, oh well, just got to deal with it.
Yeah, it's not my favorite NFL weekend of the year. It's one of my favorite NFL days, but
Yeah.
I like last weekend is always my favorite.
Yeah.
Because
Super Bowl Sunday is my favorite.
Because you got two Saturday and Sunday games,
Right.
So, believe it or not, Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, of course, it could be different this year if the Niners make it.
Oh, but, yeah, you'll be over the world, man.
I'll be nauseated all day long. I'll be pacing back and forth, nauseated.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, oh, God, come on. YouTube OGs since 06. What's up in the house? He says, yo.
Oh, I'm looking at the private chat still. There we go. Now I see him.
Cool. Last week, for full disclosure, you changed your pick to the Vikings.
Yeah, I did. I went bold on my pits, man. I went really bold on my pits.
Yeah, and I picked the Vikings against the Niners. Lifelong Niners fan. I'm not even the slightest bit ashamed of it.
No.
It is what it is. I'm going to be objective on this channel. I don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah, we both picked against the Niners, man, but it wasn't a shock that the Niners won.
No, not
even close.
Not at all. What did I say to you an hour before the game started?
You can make a good case that the Niners have been the best team all year in football, for the most part.
Yeah, and you could still make a good case that the first 8 games looked a lot like the Patriots' first 8 games, and they didn't play anybody. So, objectively speaking,
I will say the Patriots look better the first 8 games than the Niners.
Yeah, and you're right about that too.
Yeah, definitely when the Patriots had receivers, then they got rid of them all. So,
man. Yeah. So anyway, I thought the Vikings potentially presented some matchup issues.
Yeah.
There was a lot of familiar connections between Shanahan, Kirk Cousins, all that sort of thing. And I thought Cousins might have went into Mike Zimmer and said, look, this is how we're going to face this offense. This is how the defense needs to play. And at the end of the day, Kirk Cousins he's just not enough against that kind of a defense. And I really did not put enough stock in the fact that D Ford was coming back for the Niners. And he changes that defensive front. I mean, he takes it from good to great.
Yep.
And so anyway, it is what it is. One more thing I want to talk about after we're done with picks very quickly is Jason Garrett. So
yeah.
So
hey, I got to get Jerry Jones credit. He was right. He said Jason Garrett will be coaching next season.
And he is.
I guess you can call Jerry Jones the prophet Moses or something. He was right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I am happy for Jason Garrett, though. I really am.
Yeah, I am too. And we'll get into that a little more. But I think. Well, hell, let's just get into it now. I think it's a good fit for the Giants. I think it's good that they're bringing in a younger coach and hooking him up with sort of an NFL OG.
Yeah.
That not only played the game, but was a quarterback's coach, an offensive coordinator, a head coach, somebody that he can go to as long as Judge understands his offense probably should try to be a little bit more aggressive at times than Jason Garrett's, which was his issue, I think.
Yeah. Is Jason Garrett going to be calling the plays, you think?
I would guess, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I would guess he'd be calling the plays.
Yeah.
And we know he knows how to run the ball, and they got Saquon Barkley. And oddly enough, I think his personality and Daniel Jones's might be a really good match.
I
Um,
think so. I think what's been lost is Jason Garrett was a pretty good coordinator. He's a pretty good coordinator. He's I'm not going to say he's not a head coach. I think if you're rebuilding, Jason Garrett he can be a good head coach. But if you have a team like the Cowboys on the brink, he's not your guy. He's not going to take you to that next level. And I think that was Jason Garrett's biggest problem.
well, they've been such a talented team for so long. The issue wasn't Jason Garrett 4 years ago. The issue was Jason Garrett went 4 more years and never could do anything with the talent that he had.
That's why he should have been gone 4 years ago.
And that's a fact. That's a fact.
Right.
Jerry and Jason squandered Tony Romo in
Wasted.
wasted.
But Tony Romo didn't have this talent.
No,
He had
no,
Tony
that's
Romo
a fact.
for the most part. His offensive line was trash for the most part.
And
Then they started building that offensive line. Then
yeah,
he got hurt. Baby,
that's right.
I'm not crying for Tony. Tony is doing outstanding. And another thing about Tony, I don't think we covered this. The word was ESPN was going after him for a record deal. It was something like, what did I tell you? Like 12, 14 million a year or
You
something?
said it was a ton.
Yeah, it was a ton of money.
I wonder where that's at right now.
I don't know. I haven't heard it. That was about a week ago.
Yeah.
I think. But man, Tony is so great on TV, man. I love Tony Romo on TV.
Well, Bill Simmons was saying that, and Mike Florio were both saying on two separate podcasts, oddly enough, that ESPN is taking a lot of heat from the NFL on their Monday night broadcast. There's rumors swirling around that the NFL is considering not letting ESPN even stay in the running for the next go around to keep Monday Night Football.
What's the deal? What's going on with them?
Well, they hate the fact that they can't get their announcers worked out and their color guy. In other words, the NFL feels like, look, Booger McFarland is not the name we're looking for on a Monday Night Football broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking for John Gruden, Tony Romo, Troy Aikman. We're looking for that big name.
Yeah.
And plus, a lot of people were giving Joe Tessitore a lot of crap. I actually kind of like Joe Tess. He gets too excited, but I don't know that he's the name as as the lead announcer on there. I don't know that he's the name the NFL's looking for either. I think they'd like to see a new booth.
In a way, though, that's a lot of money to pass up if that's true. 12, 14 million. That's a lot of money to pass up. But in a way, I don't want to see Tony go work for Walt Disney.
I never even thought about that. Yeah, you're right.
Know what I mean.
Sure, sure.
I think that the Walt Center days are over now at ESPN. They've gotten rid of all those people and they kind of clean house. But maybe this is the whole Star Wars thing in me.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
They kind of had to because people were just refused to watch SportsCenter anymore. When they brought Jamel Hill and Michael Smith in, I was like, I'm out. I can't do this. Every day it was Colin Kaepernick is a hero, blah, 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 blah. Every day they were bombarding us with this stuff.
Let me ask you this, not to kind of go into our personal channels, but do you think that ESPN was in a worse spot than what Lucasfilm is in now?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
It was pretty damn close though, man.
No.
I mean, their ratings were tanking.
Because look, they just had a few areas that they needed to course correct, and it mainly had to do with some of their on-air talent,
Yeah.
And telling their on-air talent, okay, I'm either cleaning the house of you, but some of your personal views are not going to fly anymore. Lucasfilm, I think, I don't know. I guess ESPN is quite a bit more the expensive IP, though, at the end of the day, right? than even Lucasfilm. So
Yeah, but ESPN, I think at a time, I think they were a lot more woke than Lucasfilm.
yeah,
I mean, I
I
mean
think it's even
that whole Jamel Hill Sports Center thing, that was 100% woke center.
yeah.
It was so bad, nobody's watching it.
Well, they still got one on air, but he's during the day, and that's Dan Lebitard. He's ultra woke
I haven't
down
seen,
there
I
in
haven't watched
Miami.
Dan Lebertard in so long though.
Yeah,
He's still on there with his father.
yeah, he's down there, and yeah, it says, "Don't you guys have a Star Wars channel?" Yes, we both have. Well,
Yeah,
they're
yeah, we
they're
do.
all around channels. Yeah,
Yeah, they kind of all around, but Disney owns ESPN and Disney owns
Lucasfilm. So
Lucasfilm,
that's
and they're trying to get Tony Romo to come over to ESPN, and we're just a little biased. That's all.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
how they destroyed Star Wars.
yeah. It's a valid conversation because Lucasfilm and ESPN have some things in common besides working for Disney.
Yeah,
You know,
ESPN always gets first dibs on trailers or ABC, either one really, because that's owned by Disney too. So they always get first dibs on trailers. You have to watch like Monday Night Football for a trailer, that
right,
kind of thing. So
right.
I mean, that's a smart move by Disney because hey, Monday Night Football, ESPN, yeah. Star Wars, put it on ESPN, yeah. You're gonna get a huge audience that's gonna watch those trailers.
Alexa Siri, good morning. Great to see you.
Good morning.
Alexa is a migrant over from
Yeah.
our channels.
Yes. A
She's
great
still
supporter.
yeah, she supports a lot of people in the community over there.
I'm sorry.
And
Maybe I'm naive. Alexa Siri is a female, right? I was
I
just
would
assuming. That's what I was
assume, but
assuming.
assumptions are,
I don't know. I mean, Alexa, I have Alexa here, and Siri, I have Siri on my iMac, so you can change
right,
those to male and
right.
females. But at least I know Siri, you can anyway.
YouTube
Sorry, I
OG.
just never asked.
Yes, our channel names are actually our names. He is
Yep.
John Matrix. I am Rhodes Rants. That's the name of our
Yep.
channels.
Yep. Did we ever tell him how we came up with Black and White Sports? It was kind of a joke.
I think
I
we
don't
were
think
literally like, weren't we sitting around
Yeah.
one day and we was like, one morning, and I think I sent you a message and I was like, we really should start another channel. And we was like,
Talk sports, yeah.
Yeah, talk
Yeah.
sports. And I think about another 15 minutes went by and I was like, I'm a white dude and you're a black dude. We could call it Black and
Black
White,
and White
Sports.
Sports. That was
And
it.
and we were like, and you know what? That might offend some people. So let's do it.
But you know what? We don't give a damn. Hey,
At all.
it's okay that Rhodes is white. It's okay that I'm black. And I say I'm black. I'm not a POC. I'm not a person of color. I hate that term. I am black. He is white. That's just the way it is. Check out our personal channels if you want to get kind of more into that.
Oh, yeah. Please go subscribe. Absolutely. Alfred Morganroth, another great supporter
Great
of
supporter
all
here.
channels. Yes.
Yeah. And no need to worry. We
oh.
no need to worry. We haven't even given our pitch yet. So
yeah. We hadn't even went there yet. We
Yeah,
got
we were
off
talking
on Tony Romo.
and Star Wars came into this some kind of way. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready whenever you are, man.
Yeah. And before we go too far,
Yep.
I picked the Chiefs last week. You picked the Titans. You got that one right.
Yep.
And that was another one I was sort of like, God dang it, because I'm kind of rooting for the Titans in some weird way right now.
You know what? Let me address something, man. The Chiefs played the Texans. Boy, the Texans should be so happy right now that the Astros are the biggest story in sports right now.
Right.
Because Bill O'Brien, what the hell, man? That was an embarrassment. a complete embarrassment. So they lost on Sunday. The Astros news dropped Monday, or I think it was Monday.
Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, Monday. I think Monday.
Nobody in Houston is talking about the Texans. Everything is about the Astros, and I work directly across the street from Minute Maid Park. That's all anybody's talking about, man. He got off bit time.
He got off scot-free because people were out for blood.
Yes.
Right after the game, and I couldn't believe as I'm watching that game, I'm like, he's running a fake punt right now. And then when he didn't make it, I was like, oh, that was the worst move ever. I sat back and I was like, the Chiefs are about to roll y'all's butts.
Blew a 24-0 lead. And the Chiefs got like 17 points in 3 minutes?
Yeah, and
that's insane.
The Texans just could not take advantage. They didn't sit back and realize, look, the Chiefs dropped 3 blatant catches on drives earlier in the game that I'm thinking they're not going to drop those later in the game. The law of averages says, and they didn't drop any for the rest of the game. I don't think. The Titans beat the Ravens, and actually we did pick the Titans, didn't we? We both picked the Titans.
I picked the Titans.
The Chiefs.
I know that.
You picked the Texans. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. So I went 2-2 last week? Maybe 1. I don't remember.
0-1, 1-1, 2-1, and I picked the Packers. So I went 3-1 last week.
I picked the Seahawks.
Yeah.
No, so I think I only won 1 game, I think.
Are you serious?
I think I did. I picked the Titans. I picked the Texans. They lost. I picked the Seahawks. They lost. And who did the Packers beat?
They beat the Seahawks.
No, maybe I'm confusing. Who did the
You picked the Seahawks, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I only won 1 game last week.
Yeah.
So, oh well.
Wow.
Not keeping a record.
Okay.
There's only 2 games to pick now.
Here I was coming into this thinking, God, I screwed last week up, and I actually went 3-1, and I thought Matrix dominated everything, and you went 1-3. Okay.
And I was making some pretty bold picks, though. I didn't feel confident in my picks. They were just bold picks.
Is Bill O'Brien the next Jason Garrett? He's already made the playoffs more than Garrett.
Yeah, he
hadn't went 3 years in a row now, I think.
Something like that. It's not a far stretch to say that. I mean, Jason Garrett hasn't had an epic collapse like this. I mean, Houston never really got over the 1993 loss to the Buffalo Bills when they blew. I think they were up 35-0, and they blew that game to the backup quarterback Frank Wright, not Jim Kelly, Frank Wright. They blew that lead.
Not only that, but I don't think it was in 93. I think
it was in 93. I remember it. It was 1993. I remember it.
Then that wasn't we're thinking about. Okay, no, that you're right. You're right. I'm thinking about the Music City Miracle. That was Tennessee Titans and Buffalo. I will give Bill O'Brien credit for one thing that a lot of people forget. He went into Penn State after the Joe Pa Jerry Sandusky scandal, and
he cleaned that up.
They got nailed. I mean, the NCAA destroyed Penn State,
and they were supposed to be done that season.
And by the 3rd year, they won like 9 games and was back on the map.
Yeah,
and he completely, morally speaking, straightened that entire program out. So I want to make sure we mention that, because that Jerry Sandusky thing was the ugliest thing I think I remember in sports.
It's definitely worse than the Astros.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, that Sandusky thing was worse than the Astros because we're talking about sexual assault of children. People will take cheating, stealing signs electronically all day over that. No doubt about it. Also, steroids. I think steroids is bigger than the Astros too, because that was wildly rampant throughout the whole sport. There's a huge black eye. Now the sign stealing thing, we're starting to find out it was a lot more rampant than what people want to admit. I mean, Tony La Russa has already been accused of doing something just like that in the 1980s, and we're going to get more things come out too. Also, now they're accusing Mike Trout of using HGH. It's a bunch of stuff, man. But I've always said this, man. Baseball has always been the dirtiest of the three major sports. It's not even close.
Yeah. Peter King had Joe Buck on his podcast this week, and Peter King is a massive baseball fan. Yeah, he's a football writer, and that's what he does for a living, but he is a huge baseball fan. And they were talking about how essentially throughout the history of baseball, there's always been some kind of ambiguous cheating going on. It's like part of the culture of baseball.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I mean,
that's right.
Bat. I mean, that was this one pitcher.
The spitball. Anybody?
This dude, man, I can't remember this. I can't remember which pitcher it was. This guy was obviously using pine tar, because it was like all over his neck and everything. You could see it.
You remember George Brett?
Yeah, George Brett.
Remember he got kicked out of the game and come running out of the dugout. It's one of the most famous scenes ever. He throws his helmet and he's livid because they tossed him out of the game over too much pine tar.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this is like recently, probably like within 5 years.
Yeah,
it was some pitcher. He had pine tar on his neck. I mean, he was a black dude, I think, or he was a Hispanic, but still, man, it was obviously on his neck. And he got thrown out the game. He got suspended too. I mean, it was really bad. I mean, I also think what's worse is the Denver Broncos, who won those back-to-back championships. Shannon Sharp probably has amnesia on this, but that team manipulated the salary cap illegally, and they got fined. Mm-hmm. That's how they got those players to win those championships. Also, their offensive lineman was putting cooking spray on their arms in a jersey.
Yeah, Mark
so you grab them,
told that story.
If you could like grab it, they would slip off. And that's the reason why they call Mark Slayer stink. Yeah, he would piss his pants on purpose.
Yeah,
before the games.
Right. That's right.
Now that's his good gamesmanship right there. I mean, that's disgusting. But
he said that there was times he literally rubbed Crisco on his arms.
Yeah.
So nobody could.
Yeah. Because Shannon Sharp is livid about the Astros. But I'm thinking, man, your Broncos did some pretty shady stuff to win those championships. Especially with the salary cap.
I never lost my mind over.
I don't lose my mind on any of this cheating stuff.
Yeah, I don't either. Level. I never lost it over the steroids, and I'll tell you why. Everybody always talked about the hitters, Bonds, McGuire, Canseco, and there were so many pitchers doing steroids.
Oh, yeah. Pitchers were the main ones.
Absolutely. You know, Alexa brings up Roger Clemens. I love Roger, by the way.
Right. Roger's all-time great no matter what, man. I mean, he is a legend here in Houston.
Yeah, I'm a Yankees fan, so I love I love Roger. Yeah. So
and Roger still works. He works for the Astros as a special advisor.
Oh yeah, that's right. He does.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah. Yeah. He lives right over there in Katy.
Samantha Van Wissenberg says the Packers and the Titans are in the Super Bowl.
We'll see. Maybe 24 minutes into this, man. We need to give our pits. Plus, I got a video to edit too.
Okay.
We're talking. Cool. There's so much stuff, man. We haven't really put much on the sports channel, anyways. So.
Right. We still really didn't dig into Jason Garrett. So he'll be okay.
Yeah.
I have plenty of time to break down his performance as O coordinator.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just say one thing about Jason Garrett.
Yep.
God, this makes the Cowboys and the Giants even more interesting next year.
Yeah, but the Cowboys are going to be better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Overall. But the
just
camera over on Garrett throughout games is just going to be priceless.
Yeah, And just by the statistics, chances are the Cowboys will win the division because nobody wins the NFCs 2 years in a row. Nobody.
I think, and I'm making a call right now, I think the Giants are going to be much improved.
But it should be. They can't be any worse.
In Mr. Jones's second
Daniel Jones
season.
he definitely should improve next season. He definitely should.
Romanowski was a known steroid and HGH taker.
He was the Jose Canseco of football.
One of my favorite players of all time, by the way.
Of course, you're a Niners fan.
Niners, Broncos. I mean,
yeah, you want to talk about cheating? People talk
nuts,
about Belichick.
Dude.
You know about Bill Walsh, right?
What Bill Walsh do?
Bill Walsh in the 1980s with Joe Montana. You know the rule about the headsets, right?
Oh yeah.
So he would actually sabotage the headset. I can't remember the exact story of it.
Belichick used to do it all the time when people go in.
And people knew that Walsh was doing it. People knew that Walsh was doing it. So the rule is if one team has their headsets down, you can't use yours either. So when you're in San Francisco, that makes it even harder with the crowd. It was something like that he was doing, right, Rhodes?
Yeah,
on purpose.
Absolutely, yeah.
Jerry Rice using Stickum. I mean, the greatest receiver of all time admitted to using Stickum.
I forgot
after he got in the Hall of Fame, of course.
I forgot about Romanowski spitting on JJ Stokes that time. He was nuts.
Yeah,
he was, and he would admit he goes on Cowherd's show a lot.
Oh yeah, he does.
And he just comes out and says, "I was nuts," just nuts.
Yeah. I'm gonna say one thing though about the Astros. This isn't the worst thing ever in baseball history, and trust me, there'll be something else probably within the next 5 to 10 years that's gonna top that because that's just a cycle of baseball. There's always something.
You want to know the one cheating thing that would cause me to lose my mind?
What?
Something involving gambling. That is the thing that will trigger me.
Yeah.
Okay. Where they find out something they've thrown a game, something like that is what would really tick me off.
Yeah.
But the HGH and the sign stealing, I think every team in the league is stealing signs.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna address your boy CC Sabathia here. He had no room to talk. All right, the Yankees have no room to talk. They won a bunch of championships with a bunch of guys, that were on the sauce. But also in 2017, in that Astros report, the Yankees were fined along with the Red Sox for using Apple Watches to steal signs. They were fined.
I think everybody was. Yeah, I mean,
they were fined. Now the only reason Astros got hammered like this is because MLB sent out a memo after that and said cut it out. But the Yankees did it in 2017.
Yeah.
So they have no room to talk either.
It drives me. I can't stand when people start trying to play moralist.
Yes.
Stop it.
Especially in baseball. I mean, CC said we were robbed.
No, you weren't. You should have won.
I mean, and
that's coming from a Yankees fan. Shut up and win, okay?
Now, I like what Yu Darvish said. Yu Darvish got rocked in Game 7. That's on the road against the Astros. I mean, the Astros on the road. That was in L.A. They got knocked around. They got beat fair and square in Game 7. I don't think that's even a question. He was awful. And he even admitted he was terrible in that series.
Let me ask you a question. Alfred brings up a name in the comments. Pete Rose, should he be in the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Pete
I don't
Rose
even have to think about it.
That's not even a debate. Pete Rose is one of the 5 to 10 greatest players of all time. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
He got I don't know if he was actually gambling when he was a player, but I'm just talking about strictly his playing career.
Yeah.
The man's instantly a Hall of Famer.
Yep. I agree completely.
I mean, Bonds, Clemens, put all those guys in.
Oh, I know it. It drives me nuts. It absolutely
you want to know how I'm just going to guess. Out of all the guys that are in the MLB Hall of Fame, I'm willing to bet that 60% either did steroids, were cheating, some combination of those. I'm willing to bet that. A
They
lot of
did
those guys in the
amphetamines all
70s,
through the 70s,
all
by
in
the
the
way.
70s, probably
Yeah.
90% of the league was using greenies.
Yep, that's right.
Come on. Baseball, nobody in baseball should say anything. Okay, let's do our pits, man. We're 30 minutes into this.
Okay. Packers. Well, let's do that game second. Titans, Chiefs.
Titans at the Chiefs. Man.
It was negative 19 degrees earlier today there.
It was -6 from what I heard. Man, the Titans they have been on a roll. Their defense is no joke. And they've been running the ball, right, Rhodes?
Down everybody's throat holes. Yeah.
If they get loose in this game, because in this kind of weather, you're going to have to run the ball. They could go to the Super Bowl. Now, the Chiefs, they're at home. That crowd is going to be wild and rowdy. They are.
Oh, my God. The weather there.
It's
never going to get above freezing today. At game time, the temperature is supposed to start dropping, and there's going to be a 20 to 30 mile an hour north wind blowing.
That's a recipe
that's a terrible recipe for Mahomes and Andy Reid today.
I was just saying that. I was just thinking that because that's so good for the Titans. Because in this kind of weather, you better run the ball. I'm picking the Titans to go to the Super Bowl. Titans going to the Super Bowl. I'm going 25-24 Titans. I have spoken.
Let me make a statement here. I want to see Mahomes and Andy Reid win a Super Bowl. I do. But in a year where they may face my team to do it, they can cancel that S, okay? And Patrick Mahomes is in East Texas, the Chiefs has been adopted as our other favorite team around here because he's from here. So I tell you, I think you're right. I think the football gods are going to be angry and bad to Andy Reid again today.
Yeah. I think if the weather was better, I think the Titans would have, the Chiefs would have a better opportunity. Can you imagine that? I mean, if this is New England and this kind of weather, you would definitely pick New England in this weather.
Well, something we've also seen throughout the history of football is we've never seen, you almost never get the two powerhouse teams in the Super Bowl.
No.
Something happens and one of the two teams, remember the Minnesota Vikings in 1998?
1998.
And the Falcons ended up going.
That Falcons team is really good, though.
Yeah, or the Giants beating the freaking Packers a few years back, and then the Giants went on to beat the Patriots. But the point was, everybody wanted to see Brett Favre and Tom Brady go at it,
Yeah, true.
I'm going Titans too. Mainly, I was going Chiefs until I got up and saw the weather forecast and was like, nope, that weather is made for some guy that's about to break off 180 yards in the Chiefs.
Exactly. And that Chiefs, the Titans defense, that was a clinic they put on the Ravens last week.
Yeah.
That defense is hot.
Absolutely.
What score you got?
Absolutely. I am going Titans 24, Chiefs 23.
Same score I got. Okay.
Yep. Close. Picking the Chiefs, Mahomes is too good, whether or not. Oh, Alexa Siri. I'm afraid Jimmy G might choke.
We're about to get to that game.
'98 Vikings were robbed. That was Moss's rookie year. Chris Carter was on that team. Randall Cunningham was the quarterback.
Yep.
And the sorry ass Falcons made it, and I was livid. I was like, you robbed me of the Vikings and the Broncos. That could have been great. For full disclosure, I think the Vikings beat the Broncos in that Super Bowl too. Niners welcome in Aaron and the pack to Santa Clara.
This is going to be probably the most anticipated matchup out of the two games. I mean, you got
it's a classic 90s matchup.
Yep. 49ers and Packers. And you remember Steve Young throwing that ball, Owens. That was the day that T.O. was born. That was against the Packers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's called the Catch 2.
Yep.
Yeah, the Catch 2.
That was the birth of T.O., not Terrell Owens. That was the birth of T.O.
Yep.
That was a fantastic catch. Okay. Let's kind of dive into this.
Do it.
The 49ers, man, they're ready. They are ready.
They're ready.
Yep. They're ready. They're at home. They've been waiting on this since 2011, since they probably thought that they got robbed in the Super Bowl back then with Colin Wokernick. Aaron Rodgers, he's still a good quarterback. He's not the same guy. And actually, the running back, that's the real MVP of that team.
Well, he's playing in a different offense, too. He's playing in the Titans offense. So that's something to take into consideration. He's not supposed to throw the ball 40 times anymore.
No. But I also still don't believe that Packers defense is as good as it was the beginning of the year. So that being said, I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers to go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to go 49ers 30, Green Bay Packers 21.
I think, look, there's a couple of odd things that when you go back and look at their previous matchup, there's some really odd things that caused that game to get away from the Packers.
They got slapped in that first matchup, the Packers.
Devontae Adams had a personal foul penalty for 15 yards that after the Packer it was just there was all kinds of penalties in the beginning and a mess.
What was the score of the game?
37-8, I think.
Woo! That's a beatdown.
The one thing that was evident is that our defensive front ate Aaron Rodgers' ass alive in that game.
Yes.
He didn't have a chance in hell.
Yeah, sacked a lot.
Our defense is essentially completely healthy again right now.
And you're going to need it to be.
I think it is going to be more competitive than the last time. But the San Francisco 49ers will win 30-17. Pack is going to keep it interesting through about mid-third quarter. And then that Niners running game is going to start breaking it off in the Packers' butts.
Yep.
Oh, I disagree. I think Kyle Shanahan has become, next to Bill Belichick, the best halftime adjustment coach in all of football. And I will tell you why, Alexa. Go back and look at the 49ers' third quarters this year, because it is where we have come out and ended games this year. The third quarter, we have come out and ended a bunch of games. Games that were tight going into the halftime became ugly by 3/4 of the way through the third quarter. So I think Shanahan has learned his lesson. And for full disclosure, Dan Quinn was the coach on that team. If he is not in agreement of something that Kyle Shanahan was calling or the way he was calling the game, he as the head coach has to step up and say, don't call it that way anymore. That's his ultimate veto responsibility. And it does happen. I guarantee you, Bill Belichick tells Josh McDaniels, don't do that crap again in this game.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. But yeah, I think the 49ers and the Titans are going to end up in the big game, and neither one of us are giving that pick today.
No, we'll save that.
Packers are going to play for the 100-year trophy in Miami. Alfred says, how about them Cowboys, John? He has made enough adjustments to be in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, talk to me about the Cowboys in July doing training camp. I will not speak another word about the Cowboys. We got the coach. He just got to fill out his staff. And I don't want to hear nothing about them until July.
I've got them as about an 11-win team next year, probably.
Yeah, probably will.
11 or 12-win team.
Yep.
Next year, we could see the Pack, Niners, and Cowboys all in the playoffs. Yeah. And then the world is officially put back to where it needs to be.
This is a strong possibility, though. You as a Niners fan, I know you'll take the Super Bowl win. I know you will. If you guys, let's just say you guys lose the Super Bowl this year. There's probably a really good chance that the 49ers won't make the playoffs next year. It's something about Super Bowl losers. They usually don't make the playoffs the next year, or they're one and done. It's weird how the NFL works.
The air gets sucked out of the team that loses for whatever reason. Yeah, I agree.
You lose that hunger, I guess. It's weird with the Patriots. Patriots are the exception to that. They're the exception.
I will say this: I think the division will be better next year, too.
Oh, definitely,
which is going to cause a problem. The Cardinals are going to be a better team. Kyler Murray is going to take a step, so they're going to be better. I think the Seahawks will probably have another. If they have another good draft, they're going to be better.
Right.
And look, the Rams had a down year and still won 9 games.
Yeah, they did.
Good God. So the Rams can't be discounted next year at all.
No.
If the 49ers lose, they should dump Jimmy G and get Brady and guaranteed Super Bowl next year.
No
way.
I love Tom Brady, but they got a guy that can play for the next 10 years. Tom Brady goes there 2 years.
Tops.
Yeah.
Probably one good year and then one okay-ish year.
Yeah. He'll still be good, but you need to look at long term now.
Yes, I absolutely. Let's see. The Cowboys will be much better next year. They had the tools this year, but that's football. They didn't have the coach. That was the problem.
No.
Remember when the Saints and the Falcons were in it? Yes, I absolutely remember division games against the Falcons and the Saints, especially the Saints. Good God, going into New Orleans, everybody wearing those bags on their head. I remember that. Oh, what was that quarterback's name? Bear.
Oh, in the 70s? No, that was
no, he was in the 80s.
80s, yeah, Bobby Bear.
Bobby Bear, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Any parting shots, John Matrix?
Not really. I mean, I guess Bobby Bear was from Lafayette or somewhere, but there's a bunch of Bears in our Arcadian area over there in Louisiana. Everybody's named Bear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They're all Arcadians.
If you look around, you'll find some even up here in East Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not but an hour away from Shreveport.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm of Arcadian descent too. So anyway.
Everybody enjoy the football today. It will be an epic day starting at 2:00. Central
Yep.
Time.
Late games.
Peace. We're